When I first began aim training, I lowered my sensitivity to about 74 cm 360, meaning I had to move my mouse 74 centimeters across my pad in order to do a full rotation in game. This is absurdly low, but it strengthened my tracking. At least I thought. There are aiming issues that I feel are universal to both new and experienced aimers/gamers, which is trying to predict your target's movement before it happens. Watching new players or being a new player, the one glaring issue is snapping side to side while trying to track a smooth moving target. This mostly comes from that predicting thought process. As a side note, it also comes from tensing your muscles too much, but we'll talk about that later. Instead of trying to predict movement, we need to learn movement, what certain things mean and lead to. The split second of slowing down a target does before a strafe, the character's change in leg movements, and so on. As you watch this clip slow down, notice that the target slows into a direction change, not an immediate change. By understanding this, we can translate that movement into our hand movement by imagining we're drawing a very narrow but still rounded angle. This changes aim training from predicting a target's movement to reading a target's movement. This shift in perspective is important because then we realize that aiming is heavily reliant on reaction time. Being able to read a target's movement is the goal. This inherently means that aim training is also training our reaction time. By having our reaction time minimized and our natural aim skill honed, when we play any FPS, our focus can be completely put on learning the game's unique mechanics and abilities instead of whether we can aim or not. This is why aim trainers improve in respective FPS games quicker than casual players. Sensitivity is linked to the idea of muscle memory. The idea that as time goes on, we train our muscles to react appropriately based on our current sensitivity. But the reality of muscle memory is that we're training our reactions, or muscles, in response to visual stimuli regardless of sensitivity. If you take a given scenario and your average score is 150 while using a sensitivity of 38 centimeters 360, if you switch to 24 cm, your score will be relatively similar. This simple practice immediately disproves the traditional idea of muscle memory. We're reacting to what we experience on screen. If the game we're playing mostly consists of slow horizontal movement-based targets, then it's unnecessary and often detrimental to run a fast sensitivity. We can run a sensitivity like 24 cm in a game like Counter-Strike, but the amount of stress that put on our hands is unnecessary, and the game's reliance on precision would be punishing. The purpose of a sensitivity range is for the movement of our hands to roughly match the range of movement speed and verticality of the respective game. Having a slower sense simply makes precise aiming easier. Having a faster sense makes aiming at wide ranges easier. Put simply, every FPS game has a sensitivity range. It's good to respect this range and fall somewhere within it if you're looking for a good starting place. I'll link a reference to sensitivity ranges based on games in the description. The naturally occurring sense ranges for games are based upon the movement and mechanics of the given game. Generally speaking, the more verticality or faster the movement, the higher the sense range. The reason we want to match the movement of the game itself is to maximize our hand movement efficiency. Too high of a sensitivity and we fatigue our wrist and hand, too low and we fatigue our arm. If you experience things like aches, sharp pains, muscle spasms, or cramping, you're overstressing your muscles and need to correct your technique. Being mindful of our health comes down to tension management, the act of spreading out moments of tension for when it's necessary, not when we're nervous or unsure. When we're trying to track a target, especially in a high tension situation, our nerves get to us and we tense up our muscles. This is why we can have moments where something is standing still and we miss every shot, losing the round. Managing your tension equals less fuck-ups and better aim and mouse control. Let's recap. Rely on correctly reading your target's movements, not so much predicting their movement. Don't get stuck on what sense you use. Choose a sense in the proper range and adjust it to your liking. Be mindful of how much tension you have in your wrist, hand, or arm. Tension is good, but only in moderation. And last of all, be consistent. Aim, train, and practice your main FPS as consistently as possible. Consistency beats lazy talent. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.